Students, myself Miss Rachna Jain, Associate Professor, Department of English, Government PG College, Rajgarh, Alwar. Today in this video lecture, I will explain you the poem A Prayer for My Daughter, composed by W.B. Yeats. This poem is in the syllabus of BA Part 3rd English Literature Paper 1st Unit A. This is my 4th video lecture on this poem. Students, first of all, I will read the poem, the stanza of the poem A Prayer for My Daughter. May she be granted beauty, and yet not beauty to make a stranger's eye distraught. Of hers before a looking glass, for such, being made beautiful overmuch, consider beauty a sufficient end, lose natural kindness, and maybe the heart revealing intimacy that chooses right and never find a friend. Now I describe some difficult words used in this stanza. Distraught. Distraught means violently agitated or crazy. Overmuch means excess or extraordinary. Sufficient end means an end in itself. Intimacy means closeness. Now I tell you the reference with context of these lines. These lines have been taken from the poem A Prayer for My Daughter, composed by the famous poet W.B. Yeats. In these lines, the poet describes the natural importance of the beauty and prays that his daughter should not think beauty an end in itself. Now I start the explanation of these lines. In these lines, the poet prays that his daughter should be gifted with beauty. But the poet does not want that this beauty should make his daughter proud and cruel. Generally, it happens that extraordinary beautiful women begin to regard beauty as a complete end in itself. They forget that beauty be conducive to the happiness of life. They forget their natural feminine qualities such as kindness and shyness. So Yeats says that his daughter should be given beauty, but she should not be proud of her beauty. She should grow into a sweet nature girl. Her beauty should not distract the mind of the gazers. The main problem is with the people who regard beauty as an end in itself. If they regard beauty as an end, they are proud. They are not able to be social and friendly. These people can never be very intimate. They lose natural kindness. They are not able to make right choice in their life. So these people never find a true and loving friend in their life. Such extraordinary beautiful women fail to respond to the advances of even their sincere lovers. Therefore, they ultimately fail to find a suitable life partner. So the poet doesn't want that his daughter should be extraordinarily beautiful. The reference in these lines obviously is to Madgon, who was very beautiful and who had rejected Yeats' proposal of marriage to marry McBride, a worthless person. So the poet doesn't want his daughter should be very beautiful and arrogant. She should be very polite and kind-hearted lady. This is the fourth stanza of the poem A Prayer for My Daughter. I read the lines for you. Helen, being chosen, found life flat and dull, and later had much trouble from a fool, while that great queen that rose out of the spray, being fatherless, could have her way, yet choose a bandy-legged smith for man. It is certain that the fine women eat a crazy salad with their meat, whereby the horn of plenty is undone. Now, I give the ordinary English meaning of some difficult words mentioned in these lines. Flat. Flat means uninteresting. Fool. Fool means a foolish person, a clown. The allusion is to the Prince of Paris of Troy. Prince Paris of Troy. The next word is that great queen. Here the reference is of Aphrodite, Venus, the goddess of beauty and love in Greek mythology. A bandy-legged Aphrodite married Hephaestus, the lame iron smith of gods. Horn of plenty. In ancient mythology, the horn of a goat represented overflowing with flowers, fruit, and corn. It symbolizes the wealth and prosperity. In these lines, the poet says that he does not want his daughter to possess a sense of pride. He describes some of the most beautiful women of the world who deserted their husbands and lovers. First of all, the poet gives the example of Helen. Helen was the daughter of Zeus and Leda. She was a very beautiful woman. She did not prove faithful to her husband and preferred to elope with Prince Paris of Troy. The consequence of this action was that a battle followed, which is known as the Battle of Troy. Yeats gives then two more examples. Aphrodite, named Venus, a goddess of beauty and love, also rose out of the spray. Aphrodite sprang from the foam of the sea, and who, being fatherless, could have her way, chose a lame ironsmith for her husband. It is now evident that the great beauties eat with their food such salad of pride as make them crazy. The poet says that Helen of Troy was a great beauty. She found her life monotonous and dull, and later she had much trouble on account of a foolish lover called Paris of Troy. Same was the case with Aphrodite. There is the third example of the poet's contemporary, Modgon. Modgon married a worthless man, McBride. She was not happy with him. It seems that these beautiful women eat something special which makes them proud and foolish. Their sense of pride leads to their destruction and results in their undoing. These lines give examples of extremely beautiful women like Helen, who not only suffered much but was the cause of much suffering to others, and the Greek goddess Aphrodite, who is supposed to have arisen from the sea but married a bandy-legged smith. The poet thinks that beautiful women are silly, so that their happiness suffers. The poet therefore prays to God not to make his daughter so beautiful as to make her vain and proud. While making this prayer, the poet has in mind the proud and obstinate Modgon and how she rejected the poet's passionate and devoted love. That's all for the day. In the next video, I will explain you the rest of the stanzas of the poem. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.